For quite some time now, you can see a rash of YouTubers who have found themselves a long hidden passion, which is boxing. And it all have started pretty innocent, with two family-friendly YouTubers, Joella and Thea Baker, that one day have decided that they want to step into the ring. And that was the very first fight of YouTubers in history. I mean, I think that's the very first fight of YouTubers in history. That's all I found at a very brief search in Google. But when it comes to YouTubers boxing, for quite some time now, it all circled down to either Logan Paul and his WWE, or Jake Paul and his boxing. So I think it's safe to say that the first real fight that we'll be taking a closer look at will be the Jake Paul versus Deji. Both were huge and controversial figures at the time, and the whole situation kind of came out of nowhere. It all became true only after Jake said one mean thing on his podcast about Deji, and he didn't like it very much. So it didn't really take him long to respond with this. I said nothing but nice things about him, and he called me an idiot. So basically Jake said one mean thing to Deji, and Deji responded with another mean thing. And after a while, both reached an agreement to settle things like adults. So they have decided to fight each other on the Manchester Arena. They both fought quite well, I tell you. But after a while, Jake knocked Deji out. It's worth mentioning that before the fight, Deji's brother, KSI, fought Joella. That did not have nearly enough drama in it to be interesting for the bigger audience. So it was kind of just there. So why am I mentioning this then? Well, because after the fight, KSI called out both Jake Paul, Logan Paul, and Rio Ferdinand for no apparent reason. Like, I can understand the first two, but what's Rio doing in here? Like, come on. But the important thing is, it was probably a huge factor in them considering themselves more of a boxers than YouTubers nowadays. I love how in like 2016 you had this swarm of YouTubers discovering their passion for music, and now in like 2022, the very same YouTubers that loved to create music back then discover that they love fighting in the ring even more. I wonder, what will be the next big thing? Like cooking shows? I don't know. In 2018, there was this press conference in the US with Logan Paul and KSI, where both of them just screamed Walmart for a while. But the real deal was at the UK conference. Unfortunately, a lot of people showed up. And believe me, it would be a lot better for anyone in that neighborhood if they didn't. Because all walls, pipes and street signs had someone's shoe print on them. Like they climbed on almost anything. Anything that's not precise 90 degrees angle. After waiting for a while, and by while I of course mean few hours, Paul showed up in a car you would see in modern GTA lobby. People even started throwing rocks and G Fuel cans for some reason. I mean, it was wild. Anyway, when Jake Paul entered the stage, everyone started to boo him out, like Squidward in that one SpongeBob episode. During the conference, there were some unpleasant words, all not too complicated, just to be sure an average Logan Paul fan would understand most of it. At this point, I just love that the audience started shouting, "Suck your mom," and Deji just joined that. And finally, when the time came and they both showed up at the main event, Jake pretended to be the reincarnation of Buddha, and KSI tried his best to test that, a couple of times. Jake has realized that being the keeper of peace has few major downsides, so he have decided to leave the lobby. Before the fight, there was the specific time to weight both champions, you know, to make sure the whole thing was fair and square, so there won't be any complaints afterwards. They brought a kid dressed up as Jake Paul and Deji in a bandana. I don't know why. And fight could begin. After a long, tiring battle of two brave souls, KSI have emerged victorious, because of unstoppable power of friendship. However, Paul have said that it's not very fair, so he appealed it. It didn't do anything, KSI still won. After the first fight, and how much money they've made, because I tell you they both made a metric ton of gold on that fight, it was only logical to make a sequel, almost a year later. The only thing that differentiates this event from the previous one is that one of the Paul brothers started smoking cigars for some reason. And the Let's Go Champ guy, I mean, that was the thing too. Ah yes, long problems at the age of 40, oh yeah. I'm just so sad that no matter what event Logan Paul enters, nobody cheers for him. Like, even I wouldn't be surprised if even his family wouldn't cheer for him. Like, look at this man. He's looking so sad with 5 metric tons of gold in his basement. Whole second fight was also pretty boring. No KOs, just a little bit of walking, and KSI suddenly won because he gained more points or something. I mean, Logan did say that he would try to contest it, but come on, at this point it must be his hobby. He knows it does nothing, and yet he continues to do it over and over again. I'm 100% sure that they're all staging all that, by the way. There's no way that with all that chicanery, there's nothing behind it, okay? Crowd is cheering only for KSI. They're making him this hero that needs to overcome his weakness or something. And always KSI wins because they see that they want him to win. Paul in comparison is always like a villain or something. Before each fight they probably just look up for who did the crowd cheer more for, and then they let that person win. So for who did they cheer more now? Oh, for you, KSI? Okay, I will just walk for a bit and then miss a few punches. Then I will fall over, okay? Only 2 years after this fight, Logan Paul knocked out former Olympic mixed martial artist Ben Askren. And he didn't win by 1 KO. He won by 2 KOs on an Olympic master. Before that, he also won with Nate Robinson, only a year after fighting with someone with no actual prior training. And then he started fighting actual athletes that have been in sport for years before KSI even started training. If that's not convincing enough, then what about Tyron Woodley in the very same year? And guess what? He won that too. I mean, Paul won by a split decision, which translates to nobody managed to knock anyone out, so we'll rate how we liked your performance. But still, the funny thing is that right before the fight, Tyron said that if he would lose, he would genuinely get I Love Jake tattooed on his body for the rest of his life. And to be fair, he did actually keep his promise and genuinely tattooed himself with this tattoo. On the middle finger, but a tattoo nonetheless. To my knowledge, he still has it. After that, they did fight again. The only difference being no tattoos involved, way more cash involved, and this time it took Logan around 6 rounds to knock Tyron out. In one of his latest fights, he fought again with KSI, and how tradition commands, he lost again, just because it was KSI. By the way, did you guys know that Jake plans to make his own toy? Like actual action figure? He makes it together with WWE, proving once and for all that wrestling cannot be fake. No, but really, I want to see Jake Paul in his Toy Story 5. No, I don't. Currently, Jake is still in search for his next big fight. And there are a few people that he plans to fight. And by few people, I mean he tried to fight most of the celebrities at this point. One of them being Mike Tyson. Their relationship started as pretty nice and sweet, with Mike being proud of Logan Paul for taking out Floyd Mayweather in all 8 rounds. I mean, it did result in a stalemate, but Tyson still has a huge respect for Mayweather. So the fact that he came out of the ring practically equal was impressive to him. Even when Jake had planned fights like with Aston McBroom, for example, Tyson told everyone that Jake will be able to win these in 1 round. So I think it's safe to say that Mike at start liked both Jake and Logan, and saw them as equally good fighters. Mike, around a year ago, started convincing everyone that the future of boxing, and most likely other sports too, could lie in the hands of YouTubers, because today's audience hardly really watches TV. I mean, what's the last time you remember actually watching TV and not using it like a big monitor? The internet is our TV. You could say that boxing only recently is coming slowly back into the fashion, thanks to YouTubers, who need a quick cash, but still, it's coming back thanks to them, really. Around that time, when people saw those two get quite along together, questions started to arise. Mainly, when will they fight? To that, Mike have answered that he will fight Jake Paul in the ring, under one condition: if he will get 100 mil for it. I think we can all tell that Jake might be quite wealthy from all the scams he pulled off over the years. But we also know that he does not have nearly enough money to come close to the bare requirements for this fight to happen. Mike probably knows that too. I think he just does not want to fight him. I mean, he retired a while ago. Why would he come back now? Just to fight some random internet celebrity? But then, not too long after they've met in person again, they have settled a verbal agreement for 50 mil fight in 2022. Which is quite a good discount if you ask me. Back then, most people were almost certain that they will see Mike Tyson and Logan Paul in one ring. But Mike have decided to back out of the whole thing and officially shut down the idea of them fighting and step into the retirement even more. Mike have also said that maybe he would fight Jake, if not for that steady income from marijuana company. He just can't dip that and fight some kid. That'll be dumb for him to do that. Especially since he is an important part of running the whole business, so he might be busy most of the time, with no extra time left for training. After that, there were a few more rumors about them actually fighting in a $300 million fight, but that went nowhere. That just disappeared. Then Mike said that maybe he will fight Paul just because he likes it. Later they have confirmed that nope, fight is still not gonna happen, but oh wait, maybe it can happen. Maybe it will happen even this year, maybe even this month. But nope, Mike have changed his mind again. Overall, Mike vs Logan Paul case is still going on, so who knows, maybe they will fight. Though, probably not. But one of the most interesting possible fights might be Jake Paul vs Andrew Tate. Both are quite controversial figures, to say the least. So people are genuinely curious when will they fight, if ever they plan to. I mean, currently it's all about if Andrew will agree or not. And it seems like it's one of the very few instances not actually started by Jake, because he claims he didn't even know who Andrew Tate was, even when TikTok shielded him as much as it possibly could. Jake even said that Tate tried to text him at one point, which I think could be easily faked, so we should take it with a grain of salt, but who knows, maybe he did try to contact Jake. For a while there was the situation where for every one sentence Andrew made on Jake responded with like 5 separate responses. As it stands currently, Andrew thinks that Jake takes steroids and he won't fight him unless he goes clean from steroids. And Jake not only claims he's super clean from steroids, he also thinks that Andrew Tate won't fight him no matter what he would do. All really narrows down to if Jake is on steroids really. Jake claims that he have passed all the drug tests in each fight he ever had so far. And I believe him. I mean, he have fought in these fights, and he clearly has been fighting for a while now. And nobody really noticed anything suspicious. And Tate thinks he's an unclean athlete. So until there will be a clear way to prove one of them wrong, I don't think we can see that fight now. So basically both of them have their own reason why fight won't happen, but what would you do if I would tell you that I think it's a huge money play, like anything Jake does? I think they're both faking legitimately not liking each other. Because they fully know that it will bring a lot of money. If two famous people don't like each other, and there's a huge chance for them to confront each other on the ring, and that chance gets bigger and bigger each time they mention each other, you can be sure the crowd will just throw money at them. Not to mention all the sponsors. So yes, I think currently they just wait to generate as much hype for this fight as they possibly can. They even went face to face couple of times. I mean, you cannot tell me this isn't planned. Generally, it's safe to say that both Tate brothers do not like both Paul brothers. So I think the best solution would be to just do a double fight with both Christian and Andrew Tate versus Jake and Logan Paul. That would be something. I mean, come on. That would actually be genuinely interesting thing to watch. Like, I don't like boxing and all of that shit, but this I would watch. I mean, if all of those guys engaging with Jake and Logan Paul are not surprising enough, Logan even tried to set up a WWE fight with the big chilling man himself, John Cena. I just want to clarify something that I personally think is very obvious. I do not like Jake Paul. But holy shit, his designer did a really good job with that WrestleMania jacket. It looks like something I would see in a Saints Row. Really good job. My brain actually just works like, hey, long jacket with yellow and black stripes, yeah! Jake has also tried his best to call out Conor McGregor for like 2 years now. So far with no success. Not at all. Not even the mean tweets work, man. Next guy Jake tried to convince to fight him was Tyson Fury. And to do that, he decided to choose the most convincing measure he could find. And that will be to dress up in a fat suit, juggle the boxing ball a little, and throw a mean word here and there. As you can probably imagine, he did not really answer that one. I don't know why though, it was probably lost somewhere in the spam, but fear not, because his brother, Tommy Fury, does want to fight Jake. So hey, at least he got something from all that chicanery. Hey, so I did some more digging, and it's actually wild. Tyson Fury was already asked twice about Jake. First time he got asked what does he really think about Jake on the interview, and he was not too happy about that question, not one bit. After a few days though, Fury have realized how Jake made all of his trillions of dollars and said he won't fight him. because he will just treat it like another money shot and not like an actual fight. The whole thing has gotten so ridiculous. Tyson Fury wanted Jake to fight his 60-year-old dad instead of him. Because at this point, he knows that even his dad would win. Just imagine being so sure of victory, you are ready to send your own father into the foxhole to fight for you. Does it make much sense? Maybe. So it turns out that the beer belly provocation has worked, but they have cancelled and reopened this fight so many times that you just can't be sure anymore. After Jake has posted yet another bait on his Instagram, instead of fighting Tyson Fury himself or his dad, Jake will be fighting Tyson Fury's brother, as they have previously arranged. But there's one problem. Tyson has said that he will bet $100,000 on his brother's fight. Jake thinks that's pathetically low and wants to pump up the stakes to $1 or even few $1,000,000. Tyson Fury responded to the call, saying that he will be happy to take the bet, as long as Jake has the money and not some ridiculous JPEG or some crumbling crypto coin. Which practically means that he laughed over how much Jake has lost on crypto and NFTs over the years, and nothing more. In the end, he accepted the bet, so Jake kind of got what he wanted out of it. In return, Jake made yet another video, in which, among other things, he ridiculed the fact that Tyson had the perfect ice filter on while he was recording the video, while simultaneously saying that $1 million is definitely not enough, but he will spend it on something nice. Naturally, answer from Fury did not require much time. In this answer, he focused mainly on what Jake should buy, and he suggested a new teeth, because he'll probably need them after the fight. But then something unexpected happened. Tommy Fury have cancelled the fight entirely, and the reason he gave was his dad and team would not be able to go with him, which might be kind of a stretch because he knew it from the very start. I mean, come on, his dad is banned from all airlines. At least that's what Jake said. I didn't check it myself, I'm too lazy. So, as it stands now, Jake can kiss the opportunity of earning loads and loads of money goodbye for that new summer house on the Bahamas or new yacht in Cuba, because he probably won't be fighting anyone from the Fury family anytime soon. That's all the Paul Brothers lore I have collected for now, and you know what? Personally, the only fight I would be excited about is Markiplier versus PewDiePie, or Parasinical versus Susan Wojcicki, or the winner receives a free Fortnite skin and a Bedrock copy of Minecraft. Anyway, I'm Tedlad, thank you for watching, and I have no idea why I spent so much time on this video, so please smash the like and send it to someone so I don't feel too bad about it.